Hello and welcome back to the Cricket Nerds podcast. Today I am joined with two of my fellow cricket nerds. I am joined with Benji, who is a cricket nerd. How are you, Benji?
Hello, my name is Benji and I'm a cricket nerd.
And I'm also joined by James. How are you, James?
Hello, I'm James and I'm also a cricket nerd. this feels like an Alcoholics Anonymous thing.
Cricket Nerds Anonymous.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
Anyway, today we have seen a very good performance from the Sunrisers Hyderabad in beating the Kolkata Knight Riders by 7 wickets with 2 overs remaining. So we'll go straight into it, starting with the Kolkata Knight Riders innings, which started off in a very shaky manner. So we'll go over to James. Why don't you talk us through the Kolkata innings?
KKR, absolute nightmare. Venkatesh Iyer and Aaron Finch went out cheaply. Shreyas Iyer did his absolute best to claw it back before he was bowled by a complete jaffa by Umran Malik, who bowled really well. Sunil Narine, a 6 and then out, which is exactly what you expect from Sunil Narine at this point. And then Nitish Rana, what an innings, lad. He hit a fridge. And if you want to know how to define a good innings, it's by smashing a fridge with a 6. And that's what Nitish Rana did. So in my books, he instantly is sort of player of the match kind of material. Destroy a fridge, player of the match. That's kind of the trade-off that you get. Sheldon Jackson was not great. They dropped Sam Billings in exchange for Aaron Finch, which I don't think was the right idea. And then Andre Russell, what a knock. Everything he hit went for 6. Everything he missed was a dot. And so he was carrying on a true West Indian game plan, which I appreciated. And then nobody else did anything. So to summarize the KKR innings, 3 players got the runs and they ended up getting 175, which was perfectly defendable. However, I did think that it was a really good game from the Sunrisers bowlers. But something I would say is looking at the Sunrisers team, I don't know that if they have to set a target with the bat, I don't see them winning a game. I think they are a good chasing side now. Like they've kind of established themselves as a good chasing side. I don't think they can set a target still.
I agree.
I would like to
I agree.
Ask you, Benj, what do you think of their bowling?
Yeah, I agree. I think they're a good chasing side because they're a team where their bowling is better than their batting. And in any team like that, that is what you do. You chase because you try to limit the score as much as possible with the bat, with the ball, and then try and chase it down. Picking up the bowlers today for me was Marco Janssen and Umar Malik. I think they look quite tidy. And yeah, we've given a bit of stick to Umar Malik so far, and it was nice for him to actually perform today. And then I thought Bhuvi and Natarajan both looked all right as well. I wasn't really convinced about the other 2 bowlers. I'm not sure why, like an Aidan Markram isn't given a few overs because he is a very good spin bowler. So yeah, I'm not sure really what's going on there, but yeah, I think SRH were just nice and tidy with their bowling and made it difficult for the KKR batters. And as you say, they set themselves up to be able to chase that target down. Then it was a gem of an innings from Tripathi and Aidan Markram that got them over that line.
Yeah, I think also just going off that, Sunrisers bowling was good, but they had a bit of an issue with the 5th bowler in terms of who was going to bowl the last over, and they ended up leaving Jagadish Sukith, who I think he's in his first game of the season, to bowl the last over. Now, when they had the strategic timeout after 16 overs, Muralitharan, who you should all know, greatest spin bowler of all time, maybe Shane Warne, who knows? But he was speaking to Sukith during the strategic timeout, and he actually bowled really well in that last over and bowled 3 amazing balls. Got a wicket as well. And then bowling at Andre Russell, he got smoked and kind of lost his head a bit. So, but I thought overall he bowled okay. But I think, as we've said, that the damage had been done early on in the power play, and they just didn't have enough runs on the board. The batting, it just didn't fire enough, and it meant that Sunrisers, they chased it with relative ease, really. They had 2 overs to spare. Obviously, Abhishek Sharma, who's didn't look great this game, 3 off 10. Kane Williamson, 17 off 16.
What you expect from Kane Williamson?
Yeah, we're kind of expecting that at the moment. I think odd games throughout the season, he will play that match-winning innings, but you're not really going to see his strike rate go too much above 100 unless he gets above 50. But Rahul Tripathi, he was looking in superb form. Like, he was just timing the ball to perfection, playing some awesome shots against decent bowlers. Pat Cummings, Umesh Yadav, Andre Russell, all very good bowlers, and he just seemed to be playing them with ease. And then Aidan Markram joined in. And a shout out to one of our comments on the previous Sunrisers video, which obviously you all watched. But one of our comments on that video said, Aidan Markram's turned a corner, good things the rest of the tournament. And sure enough, this game, 68 of 36, finishing the game off in style. He looked ridiculously good. And that's exactly what Sunrisers need, because at the start of the tournament, we were thinking just Kane Williamson and Nick Pooran, everyone else is a bit average. But to have Aidan Markram do well, Rahul Tripathi do well, that's exactly what they need to give them confidence moving forward in this tournament.
And I thought Markram paced his innings really well. That was something that I noticed. Like when Cummins and Narain came on, sort of 15th, 16th overs, he was willing to sort of step back because they were already going at sort of 9 and over, and he just sort of saw them off, and then he could still target the players that he wanted to. And yeah, I thought he batted incredibly well. And that was the match-winning finishing knock that they needed. It was more of a captain's knock in a way, if you were going to describe it in any kind of way like that. But yeah, Williamson didn't look great, and he chopped on trying to be too aggressive. He didn't play a test shot, and when he doesn't play test shots, he goes out. But I thought I'd like to get your input on this, Benj. I thought for the players that KKR have got, for their bowlers, it was only really Narain that performed. Umesh Yadav did quite well, but
I agree.
Overall, they've got such class. And yeah.
I mean, we've called that the best attack in the league so far, like Yadav, and it was Southey, but Cummins in the power play. But they just look really poor today. I mean, I'm not sure how much you know about Aman Khan, this new guy that was in. I think he was playing his first IPL match, but he got hit for 13 in 1 over and didn't come on again. And he was, I think, scheduled to bat at bat at 11 for KKR. So not a out and out bowler. I think he came in at 9 maybe. But anyway, I think Varun Chakravarti particularly had a poor game. And that's odd to see, because normally he's a player that will be reliable and will be able to be very economical during those middle overs in partnership with Narain. And I think that 5th bowling slot has been what KKR have struggled with this year. And they've filled it with sort of Andre Russell, a bit of Shivam Mave, bit of this new guy, Aman Khan. I think it was a bit harsh to drop Mave, but maybe they're just giving Khan a go because it's still quite early on in the tournament. And they've got a bit of breathing gap because they've got off to a good start. But yeah, they look quite ordinary today, especially like Pat Cummins and Chakravarti. I think they were my 2 probably villains as far as KKR's bowling goes, because they're meant to be that spearhead attack. Chakravarti is one of their players that they retain. They heavily banked on this player to provide that control on wickets, and yeah, he just didn't really perform today. I'd like to get your guys' views on heroes and villains before we wrap it up.
Heroes, I don't think I can say Aidan Markram without Rahul Tripathi. I think they both, their partnership was crucial in Sunrisers getting over the line. And so they're both heroes in my book. And villains, Varun Chakravarti, I think, like you've said, Benj, they rely on him so much in those middle overs to get those wickets and to bowl economically as well. Like when I think of Chakravarti, I think he's a bowler who will go at 6, 7 and over and take 2 or 3 wickets in this game. Awful, especially since I've got him in my fantasy team. What's he playing at?
That's why.
Why is it poorly?
Oh, this week, I've had an absolute shocker. Anyway, James.
I'm going to say my biggest villain is Pat Cummins. Since he's come in, he's taken the spot of Tim Southey, who was bowling so well. He was destroying teams in the power play. And genuinely, even with Pat's decent match-winning performances with the bat that he's had, I don't think he justifies his spot in the team because his bowling has been very, very subpar. So Pat Cummins is my villain, and my hero is definitely Aidan Markram with his match-winning knock, but a big shout-out goes to Nitish Rana for destroying the fridge. Benji, over to you.
Well, I've already said my villains, and yeah, I think Tripathi is my main hero as well for that. Yeah, knock that he did, stabilise that innings, really knocking off all those runs. I think he deserves to be given player of the match this game. Awesome. Let's call it there. Remember to like and subscribe. We're on 200, nearly 220 now, so the growth is phenomenal. Thank you to all of our viewers. We'd be nothing without your support. So there'd be no Cricket Nerds without the support of the viewers.
The cricket nerds. We're a big community of cricket nerds.
That's it.
And
social media
at
Cricket
be 300
Nerds Pod.
of us.
Sorry?
Soon there'll be 300 of us.
Yeah, there
An
will.
army of cricket nerds.
There will. I've lost my train of thought. Social media at Cricket Nerds Pod. There's stuff there. Check it out. Anything else to talk about before we finish?
Predictions for tomorrow's games. And there are 2. It's a double header. It's super exciting because we've got the Lucknow Super Giants against the Mumbai Indians. Obviously, Mumbai looking for their first win, still elusive. And Royal Challengers Bangalore are taking on the Delhi Capitals. And if you are a Royal Challengers Bangalore fan like myself, you will remember last season, KS Bharat winning with a 6 off the last ball. So great things to come from that game.
Oh, okay. I think Mumbai will win tomorrow. I think they've had enough time to reflect. I think they're finally going to come back and give us the upset that we're all after. And then Delhi RCB. I'd like to say RCB, actually. I'd like to say RCB, but I just want to spice up and say Delhi because I think if Norkir is back in that side, at the Wankhede, there's wickets there with pace. And RCB without Harsh Patel, they'll struggle in those death overs.
I'm going to go for Lucknow Super Giants because Mumbai are horrible, as in they suck, really, really suck. So my money's on Lucknow. And Delhi versus RCB, I'm going to have to go with Benji on this one. I'm going to have to say I think Delhi could win. Again, I would prefer to see RCB win because I think they've got the better squad and I like to see the better squad win. But with RCB, obviously missing out on Harsha Patel, who those 4 overs that he bowls are like gold. And Delhi potentially getting the help of Mitchell Marsh as well. I think Delhi could pull it out the bag, especially with their top order batting.
Informed David Warner, very scary.
Yeah, and pretty sure. I think that, big runs on the board could take it away from RCB.
Zach, who are you going with? So you're going with RCB, clearly, but who are you going in?
Well, yeah, but I was hoping you guys would pick RCB so I could do the anti-prediction. Because obviously, if I say one thing, then the opposite happens. But you know what? No, I'm gonna stick with my boys. RCB, are gonna win, and then I think Mumbai are gonna do it. I just have a feeling that they've done this before.
Yeah.
I just feel like that they've got it. They've got something in there. Their team's not awful. Yeah. It's not a lose your first 5 games team. And there's a win round the corner for them, so why not against?
Devol Brevis.
Yeah,
do
and
it.
actually, all of their like star players last game did show up.
Yeah.
Bumrah had a good game. Pollard, what's his face?
Devon
DeWalt
Brevis.
Brevis, Kishan, and well, I mean, they didn't all have good games, but a lot of their players looked better than they have. So
one last shout out.
Yeah.
Keith in the Fantasy League, listening to Zach's fantasy pick and captaining Hardik Pandya has shot them back into third place. Jam and Butler at the top. Well done to them. Right, let's finish. We all need to just end this podcast. So we'll see you tomorrow.